Hello, history buffs. Ready for a journey back? Look at this encampment. The spirit of 76 is alive.
Freedom of our future. A true patriot savors these moments, but the fight for liberty calls. To the encampment for freedom of our future.
For liberty. This is what American patriotism is all about. Look at these flags. They represent our fight for liberty.
The hour our liberty is at hand. For freedom is proper. Secure our liberty. My fellow patriots, the hour of decision is upon us. Let us march forth with courage to secure our liberty.
Welcome to my colonial home. Today, Del Payne's work captures the spirit of we fight for independence. And our freedom. Greetings from the encampment. The spirit of liberty is strong. We will fight for our rights and our freedom.
Hour is late. We must enact. To the encampment for liberty. Soldiers, the enemy is near. Front line, flapping.
If the Democratic Party becomes the likes of Zohran Mamdani, who, by the way, I like, not trying to throw any shade on him or anything like that, but if the Democratic Party becomes him, you have no chance. You have no chance on a national basis in terms of the presidency. In Senate seats in the House, you have no chance. You have no chance. I want to be very, very clear about that. You might have a Democratic Socialist sprinkled here and there, but that ain't what America is. America's about capitalism. America's about dollars and cents. America's about an economy, a flourishing economy. Okay? And you know what it's not about? Free stuff. Somebody got to say it, so I'm going to say it. Somebody got to say it, so I'm going to say it.
To have endorsed 8 candidates, 5 at the state level, 3 at the federal level, and to have seen every single one of those candidates win last night. And what their successes represent is a shift in the balance of power between working people and special interests. And finally, working people are going to have more of a voice in the halls of power, wherever that hall may be it Albany or be it in DC. And I'm excited because a year ago today, I was elected as the Democratic nominee with a message of focusing on making life in the city more affordable. And in each of these candidates, I see partners in that work. Whether we're speaking about Eli Northrup, who will now be the state assembly member for the district that I grew up in, or we're speaking about Claire Valdez, who will be the congresswoman of the neighborhood I used to live in before I became the mayor, we're going to see people who understand working people as their compass and who understand the results. The neighborhood I used to live in before I became the mayor, we're going to see people who understand working.
Did socialism, would it still end up bad?
Yes. Every time it's been tried, it has failed. And it depends what you mean by crazy, but even in the most innocent implementations of socialism, with quote-unquote benevolent leaders, it falls apart. Socialism creates the power framework for really bad people to do really bad things really quickly. Since government controls so much, all it takes is for one person to control the government, therefore one person controls everything. There have been examples where socialism was tried with people that had the best intentions, and it's fallen apart. So, I mean, you even look today in Spain, they've implemented a lot of socialist policies. Spain is a mess. Portugal's a mess. Greece is a mess. France is a mess, for example. Here's the problem with socialism. The incentives of a socialist country is to take as much as you can from the people to try to provide services. Well, eventually wealth has to be created somewhere. Eventually you have to extract wealth or else it runs out. It's a very thoughtful question.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this panel show are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of this channel, its affiliates, sponsors, or production team. This content is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. We encourage respectful dialogue and critical thinking around the topics discussed.
Party. Why I like the new party? Number one, it's a group of people that's on a panel. We all have differences, but we all basically still come together at the end of the day. The new party for me is about unity. The new party for me is about educating people to the truth, letting people know what's been going on in our country. With that being said, shout out to the new party, man. We're going to keep it going with y'all.
Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine.
I'm Gray Mars.
Hi, I'm Kim. That's Mia.
And tonight on the new party, we're going to be breaking down Zohran Mamdani's When Are We Going Towards Socialism? If you are watching, please hit the like button. Kimberly is very passionate about this, as Mao is. Ratchet Christian is as well. She'll be coming tonight. But before Kimberly kicks us off, I am going to play this clip because I gotta be the contrarian, because I think a lot of people on here tonight like Zohran. I'm gonna be the one to probably speak out against him. Here we go.
So tonight should be the big moment, the big wake-up call for people on the right that Republicans are just not serious. They're just not serious about anything, and Democrats are. Democrats are very serious, and that's why socialists are winning now. And I'm going to give the Republicans a warning right now. And I guess nobody's advising Republicans. I guess nobody in the Republican Party has any vision at all. None. Oh, but we're all upset about the socialists tonight. Oh, the outrage.
Who is this guy?
Socialists are winning. And I don't want to hear about it's a blue area this, it's a blue area that.
He used to be
I thought we were against socialists. I thought Republicans, conservatives, right-wingers, I thought we were very anti-socialist. So shouldn't this be like a big wake-up call that socialists are winning? And it's hilarious watching these Republicans run laps around each other today and tonight that socialists are winning as they're doing the exact thing that is causing socialists to win. They're putting money over people. The rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer, but they're telling you the economy is great. They're putting the foreign interests over the national interests. I mean, this is all happening. Like it's so in broad daylight. It's so obvious that it's insane Republicans, if they don't know what's going on. If they do and they don't care, then that's just why they corrupt and they don't deserve to win. But if they really don't realize this, if they really don't realize that if they do another election cycle of this foreign policy, they may have already cooked the midterms with the current foreign policy. If they do another election cycle with the current foreign policy,
Am I frozen?
No, I don't know what happened to him. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Kim, what do you think about what he said?
I mean, I think he's more getting into like a whole different conversation about like political strategies. But I mean, socialism isn't bad. There are different forms of socialism. I disagree with communism, and the only reason I do is because it gives too much power to the government. The government is the one who redistributes the wealth, which is needed. But socialism in itself isn't bad. That just means sharing, and sharing is good. We need redistribution of wealth because there's concentrated wealth. Socialism is a response to crony capitalism. Crony capitalism here is just an upwards transfer of wealth to the richest people in this country. I'm sure we could all agree.
Well, pretty much the Democrats have definitely shaken up America this week. Let me tell you, Fox News is nervous, guys. I woke up, Fox News is shaking in their boots. Here it is, one of their Fox News darlings talking about it.
Dan Goldman, who was just banned from a New York City coffee shop.
I didn't know he was still on.
Because of his support for Israel. He has now lost his primary to a radical socialist backed by Mamdani. It appears that, a pretty scary transformation is now fully underway in the Democratic Party, especially in a blue state like New York.
Yeah, froze again. Ratchet, welcome. Thank you for coming. It's your first night back with us. I know you were like, I love Mamdani. I love Mamdani. Last time I checked, you are still technically an independent, leaning conservative leaning independent. Why should we, as conservatives, independents, love Mamdani?
Well, first of all, thank you. I'm so glad to be back. So sorry for the delay. I'm always excited when I have a Thursday and I could join you all. And I think I made like one positive post about Mamdani, okay? I'm not a hater. I can give credit where credit is due. You know, I don't want to live in socialist New York, but am I going to be blind and act like they're not having a time? They are having a time. I'm living in LA with Karen Bass. Okay, we're not having a time here. It's not a good time. But New York is having the summer that we all wish we were having, and so we can't be in denial about that. One. Two, I feel like Mamdani is what happens if you just let younger people lead in general, outside of his religion, outside of, you know, anything else. Like, I feel like if more millennials are in charge, you know, we're going to do the right things and then have fun while doing it. That's one. But two, like, I feel like I'm so jaded and disappointed with what's going on in the conservative party right now. Like, I'm so overwhelmingly like, just, I can't put it any other way other than disappointed. I'm jaded. I feel like they're gaslighting us to the absolute max. Even if it's not working, they don't care. Like, this whole mindset of not knowing why anybody would even congratulate Mamdani or be excited about what's happening in New York. Like, to me, it's the same thing that the Democrats were doing when they lost. When the pendulum swung so far right that Trump won, and the Democrats didn't see it coming. Where did this come from? Meanwhile, everything that happened during COVID, the censorship, like, it didn't come out of nowhere. The writing was right there on the wall. And now Republicans are doing the same thing. Like, where is this coming from? What's happening? Like, why are people who are more conservative leaning, like, you know, celebrating this? Why is there going to be like a Democratic sweep? It's like, because you guys have made a total mess of everything. I'm so angry that we gave them everything. We gave them the House, we gave them the Senate. We gave them the most perfect Republican layup that you could ever have, and then they gave it to Israel. And if you think people aren't going to be upset about that, you're delusional. And if you think people aren't going to want the opposite of what we have right now, you're delusional. And so, go Mamdani. That's all I'm going to say about it.
Go Mamdani. Well, we're going to get Mia and Gray in here. This right here, they call him he talks about AIPAC being the devil, and honey, they wasn't having it.
We're talking about a status quo where children are being killed on a daily basis. And when I am speaking about AIPAC, I'm speaking about an organization that has been supportive of the status quo, that has fought any attempt to actually deliver safety to people, not just in Palestine, but frankly, through much of the region.
To accomplish a single goal, to preserve their power so that they can turn us against one another, instead of our leaders turning towards the moral change we all know to be necessary. In the wealthiest city, in the wealthiest country in the history of the world, we need not live in fear of monsters any longer.
Okay, I'm gonna mute this. I'm gonna allow Mia to get in here. Mia, with seeing images like this, how can you call these people the devil? Like, they're such good people. You know, Ratchet touched on it. What's your thoughts on this? Is this why Zohran Mamdani won, because the tide has shifted against pro AIPAC support and things like that?
I mean, they're part of the synagogue of Satan, and that states everything we need to know about these kind of people. They're the synagogue of Satan. You need to take a look at who they worship, who they don't worship, what kind of followers they are. These are not followers of Christ. And if Christ is the Lord's son, then everybody else is just a pretender. And I'll leave it at that. And I think the problem is that when the pendulum swings too hard one way, and people are not feeling fulfilled by those options, it swings twice as hard the other way because it's gained all that momentum and that inertia. So now we are going to see a massive shift in socialism and progressive, because the Democrats have realized if they get rid of their neocons, they can drag all the independents and libertarians into the fold. They've clued into that. I mean, we all see the polling numbers, and this is also a recession indicator. People are looking for some relief. They're looking for hope. The Republican Party is offering no fucking hope.
Well, it's funny he writes that because Mia is very critical of Muslims. Mia is so critical that I have to get in her ass sometimes.
Yeah,
But-
sometimes I have to like.
Yeah. So what are you talking about? Like, we're all different sides here. And I'm actually probably the most sympathetic on the panel next to Gray to Israelis and Jewish people. Gray is a Zionist. So we're all different things. And Gray is actually the Democrat on here tonight.
Well,
I'm an Israel hater.
I actually saw the UN report, and they were talking about Palestinian children. So
20,000 kids, 20,000 dead, 44,000 injured, like over like 1,200 amputees, the most
When I
amputated
send
children
you
in the
guys
world.
the links, I need you guys to click it, because last night, let me tell y'all, if y'all are fans of Older Millennial in the chat, Myron Gaines was debating Older Millennial and his little crony. And the amount of denial is wild. And the justification from these people that call themselves Zionists is wild. Like, you support the unalivement of children, May. You support children being blown up. And then you lie and you say they're not.
And you know what's crazy is no amount of information that we can give people that are so rooted in this Zionistic outlook, no amount of information will satisfy them. We could tell them we could tell them UN, we could tell them United States government, we could tell them everything, and they still will not believe for a moment that Zionists are committing these atrocities. I mean, the UN report specifically stated genocide. They have decided as a whole, the UN has decided it is a genocide, and they listed all of the reasons why. The information is out there. They've done multiple reports.
The fucking UN, they're bought out. They're fucking bought out. If the UN is saying it, it's pretty bad. I'm an Israel hater. I received that.
Okay, so we're gonna get back to the Democrats though. Great, I got this clip for you. The Democrats, they said they don't like Zohran Mamdani. Let's play Democrat leadership and what they had to say.
Ballot for mayoral candidate Zohran Mamdani. Do you see Mamdani as the future of the Democratic Party?
Money.
No, I think the future of the Democratic Party is going to fall, as far as we're concerned, relative to the House Democratic Caucus and members who are doing a great work all across the country.
Josh, that didn't.
Okay, so Gray, as the only true Democrat on the panel, is Zohran Mamdani the future of the Democratic Party?
Yeah, I feel like Zohran Mamdani could be the future. I mean, what he's doing in New York, he's making a lot of changes. Like I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by Mia, was that the UN report just came out. And so we're seeing what's happening with Palestinian children. Some of the things that they said were just sickening, and what these Israeli soldiers are doing to these kids. So they're actually trying to like destroy an entire demographic. They're purposely attacking children. So I feel like Zohran Mamdani may be like a symbol for what's going on, not only internationally, but nationally with Islamophobia.
Can I just chime in a little bit? There's no reforming the Democratic Party as long as they have superdelegates. After the 1972 election, George McGovern lost to Richard Nixon in a landslide. He was anti-war. The reason he lost was because, and there's a really good book called Fear and Loathing on the Campaign Trail 1972 election. That's when the corporatists realized that they could use media to manipulate the narrative and get the masses to go along with a certain idea. So just because something is popular doesn't make it correct. After 1972, the relationship between the media and the politicians and how they run campaigns is now basically they con una mano se la otra mano, they help each other out for their own usefulness, for their own benefit. And the problem with the Democratic Party is that they're anti-democratic because they have superdelegates. After the 2016 election, I'm sorry, I keep saying this, I'm going to keep saying it ad nauseum. They cheated Bernie out of that with the superdelegates. There were voters in Florida who sued that they could pick whoever the fuck they want. And
Is it me or her?
Am I glitching out?
She's
Is it just
skipping.
me?
Yeah, you're glitching out. You're glitching out. Yeah. So
I don't think there's any reforming the. I don't think there's any reforming the Democratic Party. We have to be aware. We have to keep our eyes open. Zohran Mamdani kept Jessica Tisch as police commissioner, and he met with Barack Obama a few days ago for a fucking video op. Barack Obama is one of the biggest war criminals on the fucking face of the earth. So I'm cynical. I don't think that you can reform the Democratic Party. I think they're just going to fool us into thinking that they are reformed by giving us breads and giving us circuses. Go ahead, Asma. Sorry.
To piggyback off of what Kim was saying, I agree. I'm not saying the answer to the conservative problem that we're facing right now are Democrats. You know, like swinging from one side of the aisle to another has shown us time and time again, you know, for as long as I've been alive, that we get the same results. You know, our foreign policy, there's an overarching foreign policy that steams ahead regardless of who's president. I don't think we're going to vote our way out of this. I don't think we're going to, you know, solve our way out of this with a Democratic president. And we've obviously seen that we're not going to solve our way out of this with a Republican president. I think it looks like taking third parties more seriously. And it even looks like maybe something completely different other than what it is that we have, you know, because obviously what it is that we have now does not work. I'm of the volition that all politics is right now is just two wings of the same bird. You know, there are people who run the country and they are not people that we can vote for. They're not people who we see. And that all of it, you know, like as Kim is saying, is bread and circus. You know, they give us the illusion of votes. And then when that starts to not work, then they give us entertainment. And then when that doesn't work, then we have a civil war. So I don't really know where we go from here. But the answer is not Democrats. The answer is not going to be found in any of these two parties. It's going to be in overhauling the whole system, waking up class consciousness to know that we are all in the same boat, left or right. We're all being taken advantage of. We're all being taxed to death. None of us are getting what it is that we vote for, regardless of who it is that we vote for. So the ship has sunk way further than most people will want to acknowledge. That's it.
Oh, I'm going to get Mia in here. I got a clip. This is for all the Trump lovers out there. This is what Trump had to say.
Democrats.
And strong turnout
Gray loves Trump.
on the left could have massive implications for the midterm.
Yeah, it was way over 2022. Alexis McAdams joins us now live in Manhattan with the details. Alexis.
Hi, good morning. I heard you guys talking about this earlier. For people here, some of them like these DSA ideas, but it's going to have to be seen if people like this across the country. When you travel around, they talk about DSA candidates, but in New York City, the Big Apple, the three that Mamdani backed, the three Democrats, were able to knock out establishment Democrats. I want to show you who they are. All three of them won. It was a three-peat last night for Mamdani, so we'll see how he's feeling today. He's standing, though, by their far-left agendas. Two of Mamdani's fellow Democratic Socialists, Daria-Liza Chevalier, Claire Valdez, and Brad Lander. So people at home are like, who are these people? I've never even heard of them, and that's what they say the point is. They're pushing to abolish ICE and overhaul the Democratic Party.
Solidarity is the force that we need to vanquish Trump's fascism, to abolish ICE, and to stand up to the billionaires.
Abolish ICE. Free Palestine.
I love it. I love it.
Organize your union.
Beautiful.
And join DSA.
I see a New York that we can all afford. I see a New York that truly invests in its babies, not bombs.
And one of those shocking wins to some people would have been who you just heard from there, Daria-Liza Chevalier. she beat out this person who's been in D.C. for quite some time, a 5-term Democratic incumbent, Adriano Espaillat. He was actually the first illegal migrant to be a member of Congress, later getting his green card and being able to be here in the United States. He says he stands for the black and brown people in his community, but she beat him. So who congratulated her might be indicative of this race. Anti-Israel activist Mahmoud Khalil, he posted last night on X and was also at her celebration, saying he is also fighting deportation because he was in trouble for what he did at Columbia, for being pro-Hamas, according to the White House. But he knows her because they used to protest at Columbia and set up those encampments. He said this should be a warning to every politician.
So, Mia, the chat is funny. I kind of miss Kamal, but Mia, listen. Trump says we shouldn't like these people. Trump says that this is scary. Mahmoud Khalil's a part of this. What do you think? Are you for this socialism fire across America?
No, I'm a libertarian. I think everybody should get into libertarianism. You should be growing your own food and being self-sustaining and the smallest government possible, because every time the government gets into something, it goes to shit. It doesn't matter if it's education. It doesn't matter if it's in your community. Every time we expand the government, something bad happens. It never works out for us. Socialism never works because at the core of socialism, it's just governmental oversight on speed. It's just the government on speed going through unanimously and taking from people to distribute to other people. I'm sorry, but they have that saying where you hand a man a fish, he eats for a day. You teach him to fish, he'll eat for his life. So why are we not teaching people the critical skills to lift themselves out of poverty and clearing the way through wealth acquisition and better means through education and making that attainable and leveling the playing field? We should not be giving away anything because it requires somebody to earn something. I don't believe in socialism for that core tenet because it's too much government, period. We don't need that big of a government. If anything, we should be firing 90% of the government and we should have a lot less government because the government is there to just take from the people. I mean, they take our taxes and they give us bombs. They take our taxes and they give us bombs. They take our taxes and tell us our greatest ally are the same people that allow dogs to sexually assault kids, and we have it on record. I mean, what are we doing here, people? We should honestly be trying to abolish the government at this point in time because they have given us nothing. But it is also a recession indicator to how bad it actually is out there in reality, to the fact that people are even having this discussion. The fact that we're talking about socialism, these like DSM candidates are winning. They're winning, you know what I mean? And I don't think it's just going to be isolated to New York. The fact that socialists are winning and they are getting a platform and they are getting a voice tells you how bad the economic outcome is for the majority of people, that they are willing to listen to socialism because capitalism has let them down and government overreach has let them down. And the surveillance state has become to the point now where people just, if we're going to be surveilled, we're going to get free shit out of it. And that's what people are thinking. They're thinking the surveillance state is here. And if I'm going to be surveilled, I want free shit out of it, which is why they're considering socialism. But I don't think
I almost don't think they're thinking that hard about it. I think it's, we feel like capitalism hasn't worked for us. We can't afford to buy a home. We can't afford to own a home. So we want a new system. Kimberly, I think you support socialism, right?
So I'm a civil libertarian. I agree with Mia 100% when it comes to surveillance and government control. We don't live in a capitalist society. We live in a crony capitalist society. There needs to be a wealth redistribution until we get big money out of politics, like we saw like before the 1972 election with the Powell memo, and how we see again with the abundance bros. It just, the corporatists switch parties. Like even Silicon Valley, they used to be Democrat, now they're Republican. They follow where the leaders are kind of speaking towards. And there's a huge disconnect between the Democratic Party and the Democratic voters because they have super delegates. They're anti-democratic. So what you're seeing here is a lot of these elitist Democrats, along with the Republicans, speaking out of all of these socialists getting elected. Socialism isn't bad. So what I don't agree with is like the Democrats sometimes do it to themselves in a way where the social safety net should be uplifting, right? It should be temporary to help people get back up on their feet. because of the harmful effects of the crony capitalist society that we live in, right? But instead, sometimes what we see is they'll use this debilitating social welfare program, like with food stamps, to subsidize Walmart rather than raising the minimum wage. Does that make sense? So they'll keep these people on this endless welfare program because it's better for the corporations to pay off the politicians rather than to raise the minimum wage. I'm more of like an anarcho syndicalist. I believe in a smaller government.
Why are you using big words with these people in the comments? They can't even write correctly, girl. Use the small words. Use the third grade level. You know they ain't reading beyond a third grade level, girl. Dumb it down.
I was just going to explain myself. So I believe in like a more of a limited government and an economy that's based around labor unions, labor rights. I'm glitching again. I'm fucking glitching again, aren't I?
You are. We got to dumb this down. People, you gonna lose these people, honey. Remember,
I was just gonna say,
like a master's degree. They 6th grade. Like we got, all right, Cam. All right,
labor unions, labor rights. Asmal, are we drinking the same water?
We are.
Look at us.
Hey, twin. It's socialist water. You got me, Kim. Look at after 1 month of hanging out with Kim, what she's done to me.
Don't drink plastic water.
I'm drinking the Kool-Aid.
Well, we gonna get off of the I country because May, don't worry, May. Don't crash out, May. We're gonna go talk about Daddy Trump's project, Venezuela. Here we go. Venezuela, very, very sad.
I'm gonna go hard on Venezuela too.
Yeah, let's put on our tinfoil hats, May. You might not like what I'm about to play. Let's go.
Saying what happened in Venezuela wasn't an earthquake. It was a warning. They have the tech, and they're starting to test it again.
A sudden burst of seismic activity near one of the world's most secretive military sites is now raising new speculation and triggering conspiracy theories about covert nuclear testing. At least 17 earthquakes have struck near the highly classified Area 51 in Nevada within just 24 hours.
The Air Force has gotten great value out of HAARP in the past. We took over from the Navy and managed it and actually did a number of experiment campaigns up there and have finished our work that we're interested in doing up there. We've moving on to other ways of managing the ionosphere, which the HAARP was really designed to do, was to inject energy into the ionosphere, be able to actually control it. And but that work has been completed. The Air Force has maintained the site for other government agencies to use for several years now. And with DARPA completing their project, that's our last government customer that we have in the site.
Listen, May, you want your chat on the screen, honey, you got to pay to play. You say you for the Israel, you want to put your propaganda. Let's go. Pay to play. Anyways, tinfoil hat time. Gray, you don't believe in tinfoil conspiracies. What do you think about everything you just heard?
I just want to talk about the people that were trapped, and I want to send prayers out to them because, I know that has to be a stressful situation. I know that has to be a scary situation. As far as the conspiracy theory stuff, I'll believe it when I see it. I guess my real name should have been Skeptic, and Skeptic should have been Mars.
We just seen it twice.
This is some images coming out of Venezuela. It's very, very sad scenes. Ratchet, what do you think about everything you've seen as somebody that's come from like a war-torn country? So sorry that you went through that. I'm glad that you survived it. What's your thoughts?
My thoughts is, I keep a tinfoil hat on. Okay, it don't take too much for me to believe in anything.
That's
You
right.
know what I mean? Because a lot of times the truth is far worse than the lie. And so I do think that something like this is possible. I do think that the world is being tempered with by forces both spiritual and natural. I believe that there are people who are partnering with the dark forces to cause chaos in this world so that they can bring the Antichrist. And the only way the Antichrist comes is through chaos. So that's the spiritual aspect of it. Let's talk about the material aspect. And the material aspect is we are so far in debt that the only way that we're going to get rid of this debt is to start over. They want a great reset. It's taking too long. We're not going along with the play. You know, things aren't going as fast as they want. COVID did go according to plan. And so I think all of this upheaval in every country, in every corner of the world, if they're not starting a war, they're destabilizing the country through famine or through earthquake. All of this is so that they can just go ahead and reset humanity and bring their version of a savior. Really, that's what all of this is about, is that Bill Gates is tired of humanity. He wants to start over. They're too far in debt to ever pay it off. And so they just figured, okay, well, we're just going to start over with humanity. You know, we're going to reform humanity in our image. And that means getting rid of us, you know, us chatterboxes. We don't go along with the program. We want to be on YouTube discussing their evil ideas. Like, they don't want that. They want AI. They want people who are obedient. And that's not us. And so I think they're going to continue to cause as much chaos as they can in every single possible way, ways that we know, ways that we don't know about, because people really are that evil, and they are working with evil entities to bring more evil to pass, and it's going to continue. So that's just a very long form of saying I do believe, if people are saying that this was like a bionic weapon that caused these earthquakes, I don't put it beyond our government or any other government to do something like this, because it is that real, and it's going to continue to get that real.
The reason why they believe it is because the force of this was the force of 2 nuclear weapons, they said. Like the force of and buildings are still collapsing as we speak.
So
like right now, buildings are still collapsing.
But my whole issue is, right, my problem with a lot of this stuff that's going on is that it's not 2 militaries going at it. You know, it's one bigger country going in and decimating another bigger country's civilian population. You know what I mean? It's not 2 militaries going at it anymore, you know? So that's very disgusting. A lot of these attacks are being aimed at the civilian population, whether it's in Venezuela, whether it's in Gaza, whether it's in Iran. Like, they're not militaries fighting each other anymore. They're wiping out entire civilizations of people. For what? You know, for me in Venezuela, we already went in, we kidnapped their president, we took their oil. Why are we doing this to them? You know, it's not like they put up any amount of resistance. You know, we're going in, we're taking their resources. We've gone in and destabilized their economy and their politics. So what is this for other than evil? I just truly don't get it. And I'm glad that I don't, because I'm sane. And I'm a God-fearing person, so I don't think my brain can even bend that way to make sense of this.
Well, in all fairness, because I know Gray does not like the conspiracies, there were multiple earthquakes yesterday, and there were also some here. Let me play the clips about the one here in y'all home state. Here we go.
Strong earthquake rocking Northern California. The magnitude 5.6 quake rattling homes and businesses there. Power knocked out tonight for thousands. That quake centered near Redwood Valley, California, well north of San Francisco. Tonight, reports of multiple injuries and aftershocks now being reported, and what scientists are now saying about this. Trevor Ault from California.
This is the moment a 5.6 magnitude earthquake rocked rural Northern California, causing injuries and sending groceries and bottles off shelves, smashing onto the floor.
I started hearing like glass clicking together, and I'm like, what is that?
Renee Everode heard the earthquake alert on her phone inside the store just before the shaking started.
I was like shaking from head to toe. My hands were shaking. I was watching wine bottles drop and just break and the wine go everywhere. It felt like it lasted for 20 minutes.
The quake was captured on home security cameras like this one, miles from the epicenter near the town of Willits.
Is everyone okay?
Rattled residents then surveying the damage, power knocked out for thousands.
I've never been in an earthquake this big, and I've been in a lot of earthquakes. This was bad.
The shaking lasted a full 30 seconds and was felt as far away as San Jose, 180 miles to the south. And the epicenter is not along a major fault line.
This is somewhat inland from it, but it's still part of the San Andreas system. In that region, this is the strongest earthquake that they've seen in at least the last 100 years.
David, California's governor says more than 1 million people got those earthquake alerts on their phone before the shaking even began. Officials are now surveying the damage. David.
It is always alarming, Trevor.
So this is where my tinfoil hat come in, Miss Kimberly, because you done lived in California all your life, honey. When Have you ever heard, like, do they normally give y'all alerts before it comes?
Yes.
I've never heard of this. Oh, okay. So this is a regular thing.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, they can.
So,
They have like sensors that feel them before they like build up before they release, and then that's what you feel. But you do get warnings before the earthquakes. Mhm.
so did they warn Venezuela, or they might not have that technology? I'm assuming.
They probably don't have that technology there. They probably didn't want them to know. But
What do you think?
the thing that stood out to me was that it was like not on the fault line, because that's where the tension is. The tension of the earthquakes is always on the San Andreas fault. So if it's like off the fault and it hasn't been an earthquake like that in over 100 years, that's what I get a little confused. But I'm sure that like that one I'm not as like tinfoil hat about as the Venezuela one, because I mean there's more bad people that will benefit off of the earthquakes in Venezuela, sadly. Un saludo a todos mis amigos venezolanos, les mando amor, les mando mucho cariño, les voy a rezar en la noche que estén todos bien, los quiero mucho. My heart goes out to the people of Venezuela. They've been through so much already. Even before we started fucking with them 2 years ago, we've been sanctioning that poor country for decades. We need to leave them alone. If communism fails, let it fail on its own. Lift the illegal economic sanctions. Let communism fail without those illegal economic sanctions. Let's do it. All these people like Charlie Kirk crying about how communism doesn't work, it's because we fuck with them. Well, it's authoritarianism that's the problem, but it's also because we fuck with them. So,
Kim, I have a question. And sorry to interject, Nora, but it's like I saw this somewhere that is like the countries that we claim to be going after because of communism are actually the countries that also don't have a Rothschild's banking system.
Yes, there's only a few.
Here we go. We
There's
better
only
be
a few.
careful. I'm going to get kicked off my Wi-Fi.
Yes.
We won't go down that road. We won't.
Iran, North Korea, Venezuela. There's a few banks that are not Rothschild owned. That is correct. Mia, did you want to add to that?
Let's not get them in trouble, y'all.
Who was the guy that Obama took out right before he left? We disabled. Now they run
Gaddafi.
In Libya, Gaddafi.
Yes, Libya was one of them. China's another, but of course, thankfully, China's big enough to where they can handle themselves. They're like the only communist country. Well, a lot of people consider them communist. They're one of the only pseudo-communist countries that are allowed to operate without like real sanctions. However, that's because they're like 15,000 years old and they don't give a fuck. They're built to survive, and I respect that about them.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Well, Mia, before we shift gears, anything you want to add about the earthquakes?
Yes, I will. I don't understand why anybody doubts my conspiracy meter. I'm like 20 and all. Every time I tell you guys a conspiracy, it ends up true within a matter of months. I don't know why anybody doubts me at all. We have the capabilities to cause any sort of seismic activity from far away. There's Havana syndrome. There's all sorts of stuff that we can do that people can look into. And then the Ratchet Christian was cooking earlier with one of the things she was saying when it came to global chaos, ushering in the potential of the second coming, so on and so forth. And a lot of people should be looking into the Great Global Reset. We've done that a few times, the mud floods, and also the orphan trains, because those will blow your mind as well. So there's always a layer of conspiracy to most of these things. But however, if something bad is happening in the world, odds are the United States is behind it. One way, shape, or form, we seem to be behind all of the bad stuff that happens all the time. It's always us. So if you think it's not us, it's us.
Yeah.
It's us. Just assume it's the United States doing something nefarious, because it is always us. We won't get the documentation for another 50 years, but eventually we'll get the documentation that proves it was us.
I usually say that. I say, as a rule of thumb, if the United States is involved, we're the bad guys. As a rule of thumb.
It's always us.
Yes.
Scout's honor. It's always us. If something bad is happening in the world, we're tied to it somehow.
Yeah, we use famine as a tool of war. Why wouldn't we use earthquakes? So.
Yeah, and guys, a lot of baseball players, athletes, unfortunately, rest in peace. They have died. There was Olympic gold medalists or Olympic medalists, I should say. I don't think it was gold. It was like bronze. They were unalived. Baseball players, families. There was a baseball player, actually a soccer player. His wife was unalived, and the baby. They found the baby, but the wife was unalived. So it is a very, very sad tragedy. We may say our conspiracies, but let me be clear: this is real. What's happening to people? So definitely sending prayers to them. But we're gonna go to a fun conspiracy, guys. We're gonna end on a fun note. We're gonna talk about the World Cup because your girl, I'm supporting my Morocco. We won. But there is a conspiracy with the FIFA now, y'all. Everything is a conspiracy. We're gonna play it. This is the conspiracy with this, and we'll talk on it. There's two. I'll play the prediction one first.
I love it. Let's hear it.
You exactly who's going to win this year's World Cup just by looking at the logo. We all know the Super Bowl conspiracy. Every year they give us the Super Bowl logo at the beginning of the year, and the colors from that logo happen to be the colors of both teams that end up playing in the Super Bowl. We all know there's a script for the NFL. Well, FIFA has a script too, and it's right in front of our faces, and it's been very obvious this whole time. However, the World Cup logo itself is always black and white. But what you might not know is that every World Cup has official colors. And those colors just happen to correlate with the winner every single year for at least the last 3 World Cups. In 2022, Argentina won. These are the official World Cup colors for 2022. That's Argentina's flag. Blue, yellow, and the outline of the sun is that exact dark maroon. Then in 2018, France won. You can't tell me that these colors don't match France. I mean, their jerseys are that exact dark and light blue. Their away kits are the white and cream. And then you have the red from their flag. In 2014, Germany won. And this one, I feel like people are gonna say this is a stretch. I don't think so. That is the exact yellow and red tone from the flag. And if you didn't know, Germany's away kits are green. This year's colors, green, blue, red, and then 2 shades of gray. My first thought, an underdog team, but Morocco. However, they are missing the blue. The more obvious option is Portugal. You might be thinking, well, Portugal is
She don't know what
red
she
and
talking
green,
about,
but they
though.
also
We
don't
got
have the
blue in
blue.
our
I challenge you to zoom in on their flag. Those dice-looking things, which I'm not sure what they are not black. They are navy blue. So if you believe in conspiracy theories or just, I don't know, facts, Portugal is winning the World Cup, and FIFA leaked the script. They wrote the script. They wrote it in. Portugal's winning this year.
All right. So, my soccer fans, raise your hand if you're watching FIFA right now. I think it's just me and Kim, right?
I like soccer players.
Sporadically.
Okay,
Usually when I'm at work.
I'm actually hungover because I turned up yesterday in Mexico.
I did too.
Won. It was so beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Kim, so I'm gonna start with you. What do you think of the conspiracy? And you're a little glitchy, so you might have turned the camera off, but go ahead.
I want to know why they picked those countries. Like, okay, the colors picking makes sense, but why do they pick those countries?
What's the real reason besides her conspiracy?
Yeah. Like that's like you're halfway there. Like give me the why. Like that's something I would be interested in. That would be something really interesting. Like, why did that country win that year? You know? I don't know much about soccer, but I like soccer players. Honestly, Moroccans are very, very attractive. I think if it would be Moroccans. They're like Arab and Spanish and African. It's like beautiful. It's perfect. Oh, they're perfect.
So, Mia, what do you think of the conspiracy about what you heard as you've been following it? Do you think it's legit, or do you think she's just throwing something and seeing if it sticks at the wall?
I'm not saying it's legit, but I can't speak for FIFA, but whether people like to admit it or not, like, sports in the United States is all rigged. All of it's rigged. Nothing is left by chance. Do you think rich people are going to leave by chance? Do you really think rich people are going to leave certain stuff by chance? They're not going to. It's all rigged. Multiple players, retired ones, have come out and stated that there is a script, that there is, I don't want to say nefarious, but inherently dishonest things that happen. And a lot of it is rigged. A lot of these players get their calls. A lot of them make calls that don't make sense, but for them, they're going off of their own script. I mean, and for the FIFA connection, I would say it probably works for them too, because we're dealing with the billionaire class who are paying the poor people to kick the ball or run the ball or whatever. But at the end of the day, this is just a game of chess for billionaires as they move their pieces to the bracket to get to the end. It's just a bunch of billionaires who own all these teams.
Because they're bored and this is their way.
It's no different. It's literally billionaires who take these teams and just move themselves through the bracket. They're not, you know, these teams aren't battling it out together. It's just this billionaire is battling this billionaire to move to the next bracket. That's it.
You're right. Well, around the world. So May, you said I don't put your chats on the screen. I'm going to play the clip about the people loving the USA, because, you know, we got to have something to show positive for the USA. We'll get Ray and Ratchet.
I've seen no such thing.
I've seen tons, girl. What kind of algorithm you on?
I know. What you want? We about to play it right now. You about to see it for the first time. Here we go.
I'm in
Europeans love us.
It's America. I'm in America. When they say everything in America is big, I understand it. Why the hell is this quesadilla the size of my head? And I've got 3 of them.
Americans, you are so lucky.
Whoa. And you take your fingers and you lift that up and you eat it. Okay. Not with a fork.
Nothing comes close to the USA.
Chick-fil-A for the first time as a family.
This is so good. Damn. Woman walking alone with fancy handbags, jewelry on, glasses on. They're not being harassed, nothing. If that was South Africa, gosh, first of all, I wouldn't be able to walk through this blimmin' park by myself. Everything just big, ginormous, extra large.
You know this is the best meal these people have ever had. I've seen the food they're eating over in England. I've seen it.
Oh, is that bad?
Not chicken. It's delicious.
Better than KFC.
Is that bad?
Oh,
I'm saying so.
I'm saying it's
I've
better
seen
than
their
KFC.
Chinese
It's good.
I would
It's good. They have Bible verses on the bottom of their cup.
In and out. Oh my God.
I just feel like
love
you're so
In-N-Out.
lucky to live here.
Everything in the US simply beats anything I've ever experienced anywhere in the world.
God bless America. This place is freaking awesome. You can't make this up. This is too wonderful.
All right, we're gonna start with Ratchet, because she is our resident first generation American. Well, not first generation American, but immigrant.
Yeah. I'm the
resident immigrant. Is everything better in America as somebody that actually lived outside the United States? What do you think? What's not better and what is better?
I think it used to be, I think the American dream used to be what it was. Everybody wanted to go to America, like it was a big deal to have children in America. My mom has 2 daughters in America. She was flexing on her neighbors. You know what I mean? Like America did used to be that girl, I've experienced what it's like to travel with an American passport and to go to a different country and see people give you like a different level of respect. And sadly, I feel like we've lost our place in the world through being the world's bully, through seeing the level of hypocrisy that we have, when we turn a blind eye to countries that are being devastated by us and our allies. And so I feel like we've lost a great deal of respect in the world, on the world stage. And I'm seeing those videos of people being excited to be in America, and that's the same way that I feel when I go on vacation. You know what I mean? You could take me somewhere out of town. I don't care if I go to Kentucky for a week. I'm like, I'm finna move here. You know what I mean? Like they're on vacation. Now stay for 30 days and eat the food and see what it does to your body. You know what I mean? Chick-fil-A is good, every now and then. American food is good every now and then, but we can't escape this food. We can't escape this food that's giving us cancer, that's giving us high blood pressure, that's literally killing us slowly. And so, yeah, it'd be nice on a vacation. It's just like when we go to their country, we realize we can eat their food and not gain weight, and that all the allergies that we have go away. We're mesmerized by their food too. And then we realize that their countries have things that we don't like, that the people may be rude, or, there's things that we miss when we travel. And so for me, I think they're highlighting the good experiences that people are having. I want them to stay and pay the bills, and I want them to stay and eat this food for 6 months and see what happens to them. And so, I love America. I'm very grateful to be an American citizen. Everything that my parents sent me here to get, I feel like I got, and I feel like I might be the last generation of immigrants that got to experience what America used to be and could have been. And so I have a lot of mixed feelings about it. I don't want to rain on their parade, but it's like, y'all are on vacation. Okay, move here and then make another video in a year.
Well, we're going to end on a conspiracy theory for Gray because, I got to mess with him since he don't like them. Here we go.
Invadindo o campo de futebol em Miami. E eu via os jogadores nitidamente sendo carregado pela primeira nave que chegava. A nave se levantava, chegava a nave mãe, uma nave muito maior, e levava milhares de pessoas do campo de futebol. Eu via muito grito, muito choro, muita lágrima, sofrimento.
I'm sorry, she's crying. I can't
Muito ruim está para acontecer nesse jogo, nesse campo de futebol em Miami, nos Estados Unidos.
Oh, in Miami? There are abducted people in Miami?
But she said the vision showed her, Gray, we're very close to Miami here in Florida. What do you think about this conspiracy? Are the aliens going to come and abduct the players from the field and take them up? Messi might be playing in Miami when he comes. What you think?
I mean, I've been to Rio Carnival. I know a few Brazilians, so they're a little crazy. So who knows what she was drinking? Who knows what she was on?
They was on one last night.
The Brazilians?
When I was there at that bar, they kept giving me dirty looks. They mad that, we tied with them. We were the first team to do that in the first game. So,
well, that they had the favelas. Brazil is actually the place that imported the most slaves. I don't know if you are aware of that.
True.
So, I don't know about the alien stuff. Like, I've never seen E.T. or anything like that. I know my name is Mars, but I haven't had any interactions with extraterrestrials or UFOs.
You should
well,
take
that's
some
boring.
Yeah.
That's boring.
They don't kidnap black people. Aliens are racist. They don't ever take Africa.
You know what? You're right.
No, actually, that's not true. Back in the 50s in New Hampshire, in my state, they abducted a biracial couple. I think it was actually in the 60s.
Girl, that don't count.
A white lady and a black man. So one black person has been abducted. You gotta look it up.
I want a fully black couple from Inglewood, California, okay? Or I want somebody from Senegal. I want them.
Well, they're locking their doors. They're not investigating. Okay,
you want to know why?
You need that white person to help you investigate. I should know. I'm surrounded by white people. That's why I survive. Okay, I don't
black people.
No, I was gonna say
suspicious. I'm staying here.
They're ashamed. Maybe they have been abducted and they don't want to talk about it. Black people don't talk about abuse. We don't talk about traumatic things. No.
I think they drop us
what do
back off.
Africans say? Tell it to God. Tell it to God.
Well, they pick us up and they drop us back off. And also research has shown that the abductions, they don't kidnap Christians. When they find out that you're Christian, they drop you right back off too. They ain't got time to be fooling with us.
It's because Jesus says we are not of this world. We are saved.
Oh, well, I guess I should become more Christian because
You
I hang out
know
in the
what
woods a lot hiking, and I don't want to fall into a different dimension. Because contrary to popular belief, I don't really think we live in the globe that we think we live in. I do believe in the firmament, and I do believe it's more interdimensional than it is from space out. And the United States government has alluded on many occasions it is interdimensional because in theory, science potentially tells us that we are living in multiple dimensions simultaneously all at the same time. So there's like an infinite number of Mias living infinitely in different scenarios across interdimensions.
That's why I
So
said
in
that
theory,
yeah.
there's no reason that energy transfer, according to Tesla, can go from one dimension to another. Mind you, they killed Tesla, but I digress. Another conspiracy theory there. Just saying. I clearly need to become Christian, or else I'm going to fall off the
You
cliff
do.
and end up in a different dimension.
Because I agree
Because they'll
with
never
Ratchet.
hear from me again.
I was just gonna say it's probably that theory of the the scary movies where they make fun of the white people because it's like if you see something scary happening, it's always the white people who get killed because they're the ones like they want to see what's going on.
Yes,
and it's like the
yes.
Mexicans and the black people who are like, no, fuck that, I don't want to see it. So they run away and they're like, why are you going towards the guy with the fucking weapon? Like,
True.
run out of there. So it's probably something to do with the aliens right there. And Mia is true. Aliens are already here. A lot of aliens are us from the future visiting ourselves. We are interdimensional.
Very true.
They
My
don't
grandpa
come from
was
the
an
sky.
engineer, and that's what he said. He used to work for Harvard, and that's what my grandpa said. R.I.P. Grandpa. But Grampy was an engineer, and he used to work for Harvard. And mind you, Harvard actually has hidden tunnels for work
I heard this.
all across Boston and whatnot. And another funny thing is the government has also alluded to aliens being in the ocean, which is why we do not do ocean exploration, because aliens also reside in the ocean, allegedly, according to the United States government.
I heard that too. All right, guys, if you're watching, please hit that notification bell so you can know when we go live. All right, guys, this was a fun show. We do this every Monday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are going to be doing our closing thoughts. Make sure you guys give everyone a follow and stay for the end because we have all our handles at the end. Ratchet, welcome back. What's your closing thoughts?
My closing thoughts is, this is the way to, stay sane, to talk about it amongst ourselves, to get a good laugh when we can, because in reality, the things that we're talking about are deeply serious, very scary, and very unfortunate to the people in the world that it's happening to, the earthquakes, the wars, like all of those things. I'm grateful that we can sit behind a screen and discuss it and not be living in it. So my prayers go out to those people. May they always be our first concern, our first priority. We're in a situation that we're not going to vote our way out of. I think our vote at this point is just an illusion. Voting for a Democrat is like voting for a Republican. We get the same wars, we get the same high taxes. People continue to get richer no matter who's president, and people are continuing to get poorer. And so my advice to everybody is to just love on the people that are in front of you, love on your neighbors, help each other out. The immigrant is not your problem. The white person that you live next to is not your problem. Your black neighbor is not your problem. The people who are really our problem, we can't see and we do not know their names. And so the best thing that we could do is just have each other's back, support each other, stop hating each other because of politics, because that's the whole point. If we're going to overcome, we're going to have to see that we have more in common than we do in our differences, and that politics really is just an illusion. And so let's just love each other and focus on God, because that's the one thing that they don't want us to do.
Amen. Mia, what's your closing thoughts?
My closing thoughts would be this has been a great episode. A lot of good conspiracies. I'm super excited to have talked about them. And my biggest thing is that everybody should stop looking to be saved by the government, because the government never saves anybody. If anything, you should be looking into how to grow your own food and how to put yourself in a position to not need anything or anybody but yourself, and to be more self-sufficient. And I think we should all start voting third party libertarianism, because the smallest government possible is how the United States was formed and how we will thrive. We were never meant to have a massively overbloated government. We were never meant to be a surveillance state. The founding fathers would be turning over in their grave if they knew this is what we are allowing. So I think everybody should leave big government behind, go towards libertarianism, and start feeding yourselves and just looking out for yourselves, because the government is going to do everything they possibly can to not help you and to extract what they can from you. So you need to be prepared for that. Amen.
Kim, what's your closing thoughts?
I love this episode. This was so fun. Asma, you are glowing. You look beautiful. She said, Asma actually talked about voting third party, and then Mia is talking about third party. I love this. I'm not going to stop my little third party rant until I get Nora and Gray to agree with me as well. I do think that There is no reforming the Democratic Party. They have super delegates. They are at their core anti-democratic. I'm not a professional contrarian, so I'll admit when they do good things, but to what price? So where are we not looking? What are they distracting us from? Mamdani kept Jessica Tisch as police commissioner. Mamdani met with Barack Obama, who is a war criminal. So he placated the real estate lobby already. So to what extent, what price are we paying for these small, like I said, breads and circuses? The social safety net that they do give us isn't actually anything meaningful or productive. I also agree that the government is too big and too convoluted and too big to control. That's the problem with any government, whether it be a surveillance state like China, who's pseudo-communist, or even the United States here, that's crony capitalist. So when they start over surveilling you, which we've known for decades, even through the Obama administration, that they do in a lot of these countries, not just here, but like I said, in China, they're doing it in my beloved Mexico as well. So we need to keep our eyes open, keep our eyes on the ball and see what they're really talking about. I think it is important to have this conversation amongst our friends, especially when we disagree. I think that conformity is the true enemy of progress. And we should all care a little bit about each other. My heart goes out to the people of Venezuela and anybody who needs a prayer. I will pray for the world tonight. And then I'll end with the same book that I say at the end of every little closing thought. It's called Letting Go by Dr. David R. Hawkins. The way to heal the world is to heal ourselves. He quotes Jesus. It's a really good book. And I leave you guys with that.
You usually talk about the cop book. All right.
I'll save that one for another day.
Okay, you save that one. All right. Gray, what's your closing thought?
Shout out to all the beautiful ladies on the panel. Like I said, you know, all the stuff going on in Gaza is extremely sad. And I'll piggyback off of Kim about all the things that are happening in Venezuela. Like, hopefully those people get help, and hopefully, you know, they get some assistance over there. You know, it was a great episode. Like everybody else says, vote third party.
Oh,
that's what's up.
Okay. Well, she finally got him. I will say vote the couch. Vote the couch this year. I don't know. Maybe third party will happen. I don't know. I'm actually probably going to be forced to vote for a racist, because that's how bad the Republican Party has gotten here in Florida. This is where we're at, because I need to teach a lesson to the establishment. I hate to have to do it. But anyways, guys, we do this every Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be back Monday night. Make sure you guys hit the like button. And guys, by hitting the like button, you're making sure we go into the algorithm. So if you didn't hit the like button yet, please do that. Also, please, 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 please send a super chat, because if you guys want to support independent media, that's how you support us as well. God bless. Good night, and everyone stay safe.
Sisters,
we shall not yield to tyranny.
Our cause just, we will prevail. The fight for our rights. Buffs. Ready for a journey back? Look at this encampment. The spirit of 76 is alive.
Bobby, at this point, shame on you. Shame on you. Because we are being played as the American people. Our money is funding a war that we don't need to be in. I shouldn't be okay with it. So as long as I have breath in my body and a mic to use, I will be speaking out against this.
A true patriot savors these moments, but the fight for liberty calls.
The economy, we have a global economy. That's why we're a number one economy in the world. I know that a lot of people want to paint the horrible view of America, but, you know, go live somewhere else and then tell me America's bad.
Patriotism is all about. Look at these flags. They represent our fight for liberty. This is
so
American
freaking crazy to me that we have an conflict with Iran before a single person from the Epstein files has been arrested on American soil.
The hour of liberty is at hand. For freedom is proper. Brothers and
I was
sisters.
working, man, you know, but it's good to see Rippy out there handling business, man. And again, hey, that's a lot of black Trump supporters, man. I mean, it feels good to see that, man. So
fellow patriots, the hour of decision is upon us. Let us march forth with courage to secure our liberty.
A real coach. People are getting sick of it. The moment a celebrity steps slightly outside the leftist approved narrative, they get attacked. Chili from TLC gets heat over allegedly donating to Donald Trump.
For liberty. The British advance. We must act.
Our supplies are low, but morale is high.
Then we fight for liberty.
Payne's work captures the spirit of we fight for independence.
The
Welcome to my
that said they were anti-war. I think they said no new wars. Yeah, they voted for a president that was not going to start any new wars. And what's funny to me is that not only were you lied to, not only did this man start this and get out of the
freedom. Greetings from the encampment. The spirit of liberty is strong. We will fight for our rights and our freedom.
Just in order to get the Greater Israel Project accomplished, you have to kill people. That's why it's wrong. Killing people is wrong. Full stop. So you can try to make sense of it with, well, it's a threat and this and that. There's no greater threat than the United States empire.
Vocabulary up, because I'm throwing out words like hubris, acquiesce, verbose. What are you going to do about the dichotomy of the nuance?
To the encampment, for liberty.
And what I've learned, and I'm not a liberal or a Democrat. I voted for Trump the first time, but he's become a politician. He lies like all the other politicians. He deceives like all the other politicians.
And flaming! Soldiers, the enemy is near.
Not only do I love my FBA fam, my Black American fam, my Black people on code, you know, my people that's allies with us, as part of the fam. I love y'all. I love my country too. You feel me?
The cause to victory.
To victory. These pastries are wonderful.
Indeed, but we must stay vigilant.